All right. Well, it's been a while since we've been together, and now we're back. This is the podcast, See What Happens. Say What Happens. And this is Rob Schneider. Of course, I'm with the lovely Patricia Maya, and also the slightly less lovely Jamie Lasson.
Thank you.
So, Jamie,
I missed you guys.
Missed you too. So it's been a while. We've been gone for like a few weeks, and now we're back. How's your life going, Jamie?
It's going pretty good. You know, working over at CBS, working hard,
How do you like that?
getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I like it.
What are things that surprised you so far? And what has been the most surprising thing working in a network writing room?
I would say most surprising is how quickly you can adapt to a new gig. You know?
Yeah.
Like first couple weeks you don't know like what to expect, and then now I go to work, it's as if I've been doing it it feels like I've been doing it for days. No, it feels like it's what I've done forever. Like how quickly you can.
Well, you got a good buddy over there, big supporter of yours. That helps, right?
But do you think that has to do with your personality, or it has to do with the environment, or what is it?
I would say it's from working with you guys and doing Real Rob. We did everything. And so I think I didn't realize that was like getting a bachelor's degree in film. And then walking into a writer's room, there's nothing that we have. I mean, we did everything from the casting to the writing to the acting.
You know, we didn't do that by design. We did it out of desperation.
Yes, I was trying to leave that part out.
It was all hands on deck the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, because if we didn't do it, then it wouldn't get done.
But that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, it is. You kind of throwing yourself into it. That's what I learned when I was on Saturday Night Live. Was just like, you know, it's no one telling you what to do. You got to figure it out and figure it out quick,
Right?
or you're gone. And it's true, but what was good? That's the best way to learn, you know, figure out, well, you got to talk to this guy for the set design. And what set design? Well, you know, what you want the sets to look like. What's a set? Well, you know, where the sketch is. Oh, okay. And then you got to talk to the costume people. Who are those people? Those are those people over there. What do I tell them? What the people are supposed to wear? Oh, okay. And you got to talk to the director and tell him what where you think the funny is and where you should shoot it. Really? I was like, oh my God. So you just kind of figure it out.
Yeah, I remember walking after season 1 of Real Rob. I remember walking through a bookstore and there was a book called whatever, television and film, like intro. And I looked at the table of contents and knew every single thing in the book. I was like, oh my God, it's almost like we took a course.
Yeah, well, I mean, sink or swim is really the best way to learn anything because it literally is sink or swim.
Can I ask you an SNL question and you don't have to answer?
What?
What's the most someone does something and then is immediately fired? Does that ever happen? Where someone does something and they get fired immediately, or is it always...
Don't say names.
There was a guy who was told not to do a character in a gay voice, and he did, and he got fired.
Oh, really?
It's a famous story. It's not like you don't have to. It was Damon Wayans. I mean, it's a famous story. It was before I was there. They said, Damon, you can't do this in a gay voice, you know. I got yelled at one time because I didn't have my costume on in time, and this show started, and I wasn't in position.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah. It was Dana Carvey was doing... Woody Allen, and I was supposed to play Soon Yi, his new wife at the time or whatever, and but I was the only person of any Asian heritage on the show, and so they automatically made me the Korean woman, and then they were still fixing my hair, and they turned off the sound in the room, so the next thing I know, I look up, and I see Dana Carvey outside by himself, and the show had already started.
Oh my God!
They turned off the sound in there, and you know the boss didn't believe that they turned off the sound, but they did. They turn off all the time, you know, in the dressing room. So they were still messing with my stupid hair, and I had to run in high heels out there, but it was fine because I knew that I knew the sketch. Dana, of course, a genius, great sketch player, knew the sketch, and we figured it out once we were out there. But then the director, God rest his soul, Danny Wilson. Davey Wilson panicked, as a director will do, and then sent out Chris Farley, who didn't know his lines. And so the line is supposed to be, you're a real sleazeball. And then it turned it into like, he looked at the cards, and they're still trying to get the cards around and everything. And then he yelled out like, you're a real scumbag, which kind of put a bad turn on it. The weird thing was Juliet Taylor, who's the casting person for Woody Allen, wanted to put me in Woody's next movie, and after that sketch, I never heard from Woody again.
Damn.
It's all right.
That almost, the way you describe that, have you ever had a dream about work where it goes wrong, like you're doing stand up and you can't find your pants, or you can't think of a. That's like a real life story.
Or like you don't have a, you're about to go on to do a play on Broadway and you're walking on stage and you don't know any of the.
I think your nightmares are more successful than mine. I was just at a comedy zone in Nebraska in my dream. It's on Broadway.
I was at school in my dream.
Oh God! So when but anyway, I mean, I never wanted to be one of those guys on Saturday Night Live who's like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. Oh, I don't know, because I've heard that there are people on the, because there were people there who was like, oh, I don't want to piss off, blah blah blah, and I was like, I'll do it. Let's just do it. I'm here not to. We're here. Let's go for it. And so
yeah,
But I've heard there's even new people that are doing that, on the show now. But I'm not for that. Anyway, so today on the show, see what happens. We're gonna talk. I want to talk a little bit. Which a documentary we just saw. That we saw a couple documentaries, by the way.
Yes,
and we should probably start this off by saying we didn't see the whole thing.
We didn't see the second one. Yes.
I didn't even know there were ends to documentaries. I've never made it to a...
Yeah.
Do they have ends?
You got to make it all the way through. Yeah, it's tough.
You know that's
how do you know when it's over, really?
That's how I know that I'm aging, because now I'm watching documentaries.
Yeah.
I remember before I would never watch a documentary.
What was this documentary?
I remember you just saying, like, you saw movies and you're like, I don't remember the whole movie. Why not? Because I was making out at the time with my boyfriend. It's like,
That's
oh,
true.
God.
I haven't seen a bunch of movies.
Okay, less of that. Here we go. So, okay, now this is about, which something I didn't realize was that there is the biggest business in the world as far as for monetary, the biggest business that there is for making money. Well, what else could be bigger? Monetary, listen to me. The biggest business in the world is bigger than oil.
Okay.
Is the gathering of personal private information, your phone, your social media, your, whatever your password, secret questions, your friends on social media and all your web searches, that gathering of that information by Google, by Apple, by Facebook, that is the biggest business in the world, bigger than oil, bigger than pharma. So I didn't realize that, but it is.
And they just sell this information, our information?
Yeah, they sell this private information from everybody in the world. And like one of the things was there was apparently this company that was Cambridge Analytica in the documentary had 5,000 points of interest or on every voter in the United States, and they were able to make specific, targeting of commercials, and some call it propaganda for this. And I'm not a big believer in that. Like, I don't believe anything I see. I always have some kind of question into it, and so I'm one of those guys. I don't believe that like you can just tell people stuff and they just automatically believe it. I think that there's like some people who may take some of that in, but that's not the whole focus. If you see one Facebook ad, you're going to go, oh, now I'm going to vote this way. I just think it's a oversimplification.
I think it's different. I don't think it's as direct as you're mentioning it, but I think there's a way to manipulate, because I don't know if it had ever happened to you.
But isn't everything a manipulation, though? I mean, so how can you say it's directly responsible for like the outcome of an election? I mean, they said, well, it's only 10,000 people in Michigan would have changed the election or whatever. I think that you can go back historically and just look at the fact that Americans don't like to have the same party in 3 times in a row in the executive branch. In other words, they don't like to have a Democrat in for 3 terms. They don't like to have a Republican in for 3 terms. I think they feel like the basically a 2-party system was already rigged and unfair to begin with. So they like, let's kick out those guys and the new bums, bring in the new bums, get rid of the old bums.
Yeah, but what they can do apparently is like, besides the elections, is like they know your patterns. So they see if you're fearful of certain things, if you respond to certain things. So that's how they make like this, like propaganda that is gonna serve that.
But don't you think though, like this, you were talking earlier today about like people putting personal information out there.
Yes, it's our own fault.
Yeah. So when you start to like, oh, that would be good. Let me just write down. Oh, they're asking me all these questions on Facebook. Maybe I should just answer all of them.
Yeah, like a personality test. But not only that, a lot of people on their own Instagram accounts or Facebook, they're posting like, oh, I feel sad because, my job at this place, because a lot of people put like where they're working at, or like, oh, I had a fight with my sister, and they give the name of the sister, or they tag the sister.
Right.
I mean, we're putting all this information out there. Like I saw this, I was showing you guys. This woman that I follow on Instagram that she makes, she's a great baker. And she was just posting that, her son is going to leave. And she said exactly where the son was going to be at for 2 years. And it's like, don't do that because
I'm going to go visit him between October 18th and November 1st. And that is a perfect time for anybody who want to break into the house.
Yeah.
Perfect time for anybody.
Exactly. I mean, it's not only this companies gathering information, but it's also like a lot of people that is looking at Instagram or looking at this stuff, and if you suddenly just check in at the Starbucks in a specific area, they can just go there and see you right there, and I don't know. I'm paranoid because I'm Mexican.
Yes.
And
so
I was born paranoid. And I was raised paranoid.
Because we've talked about this. Like I'm the opposite of paranoid to a fault.
Yes.
I'm sure.
So I mean, what is the potential dangers? They could come and kill you. What are you worried about?
Well, in Mexico, yes. Like I was concerned that someone could, come and try to rob me because it happens.
Okay.
Specifically in Mexico City, which is where I grew up. So you want to be careful. You don't want to share. Like, who cares? What are you going to accomplish by telling people that you are at a specific place?
As you're saying, it's like unnecessary information putting you at risk.
Yeah. Or people taking pictures of their children wearing the uniforms of their schools. It's like, what do you want to tell the world where your kid goes to school?
Are we having a more paranoid world now because of all this stuff? Or also, does it make people more likely to do crazy shit now because there's so much information out there? Or, I mean, I don't know. I mean, so what are the potential pitfalls? So they would know where you are. They would know when to break into your place, where you're working, and so that's, and where your kids are. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, if, God forbid there's like a stalker or someone,
Right. You're making me nervous. I
you.
just posted, I love to sleep on my stomach and I'm a really sound sleeper and my door's unlocked. Is it something like that? Seems like that could be trouble.
You worried? I mean, are you worried about like hacks? And because what I'm worried about is like, kids and because it used to be like the bullying stopped at the school and maybe on the way home, and in your house they couldn't bully unless they called you,
right?
On the phone,
and they wouldn't because your parents would be there.
Yeah, but now it's like it's just going, round the clock, and people are, and the kids are all on their phone and the social media. I mean, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to have any plans for your kids? Or how are you going to prevent that? Or what are you going to do?
I'm just going to hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. I'm more, and I don't know if this is bad or good, but I don't worry about my information being out there because I think if we're all doing it, what are the chances that I'm the guy that they break into? I just feel like if there's so many...
So it's a numbers thing.
There's so many people
with safety in numbers. It's like all the birds flying at one time. They can't kill us all.
Exactly.
They got buckshot and they'll get one. I'll be in the middle of the pack, and hopefully, it's like a big like those.
That's how I feel.
Balls of fish swimming.
Yes, like they can't.
They're all going in the same direction for some reason.
But what about suggestions? Like because this happens a lot, right? Like it seems like you're thinking about something or you mention to someone.
Yeah.
Anything,
and
suddenly, next thing you know, you have an ad on Instagram that is suggesting exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah. So my ex-wife and I remember getting in this big discussion. She was like, you have to turn off the microphone on Facebook because they're listening. And she goes, we just got, it showed up on my Instagram. It's the exact couch we were going to buy. It popped up 30% off. And she's like, isn't it crazy that they know? And I go, hey, 30% off. What are we arguing about? This is amazing.
But I don't think it's
They're
a microphone.
doing us a favor. They're helping us out.
I don't think it's a microphone. I really think it's our profile, which is what these companies are doing.
No, but the other day they just said, we were talking about like a picture or something Like you and I were saying, oh, that's a cute picture of the kids. Oh, I want that picture. And then the next thing it popped up on my phone, would you like to share this with your husband?
What?
Remember the photo?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
On this app. I'm like, whoa. So they are hearing. There's so much information that we are giving out. And then I do think that like it is if you are giving out your personal information that's happening all the time on your phone, where you are, how they're, where your choices, every search, whatever, and it's completely being compiled by something, and someone is benefiting it from it. Somebody's benefiting by it, some company. Then in some way, we need to be compensated by that, or we need to have some choice in this. And the other thing we're talking about is terms and conditions. Do you accept the terms and conditions?
I accept them, just whatever they are. I don't read them.
But it doesn't say. But you have to check on. I have read.
Have you really?
No.
Have you ever read any terms and conditions?
I treat terms and conditions like documentaries. Like the first 5 minutes. Never made it through. Do you read them?
No, I don't.
You don't read them, huh?
I don't read them. No, I just assume.
So they're just counting on that.
Well, yes, because if you don't accept the terms and conditions, then you're not able to use the app.
Right. What do you think the worst term and or condition would be? Like, what would be the scariest?
Well, supposedly the one of the terms.
I'm going to come over and strangle your dog.
What? I feel like that
one
should
of the
be in
conditions.
bold.
No, it's like one of them is they can read, or the app can read your text messages.
The hell is that?
Yeah, like if you're on your personal app for your psychiatrist.
Yep.
Going
Wait
over
a
your
minute.
prescription.
Are you serious? Because I am on. It's like whatever it is, BetterHelp. And I text some very personal things to a young lady with several weeks of college.
Yes.
She's a therapist. Is she?
How do you know this person has her shit together? How do you just assume like you're asking this person advice? That's the thing to me. Like, one of my nieces is a life coach. And I went, shouldn't you get your own fucking life together before you start coaching other people?
Wait a minute, Rob. Are you suggesting the lady that does therapy for 75% off on my phone?
No,
might not be.
My niece Crystal does have her shit together, but I still, at the same time, I just feel like M. Scott Peck was my hero, and I have his notes right here for when I went to go meet him one time.
Is he?
He's the guy who wrote The Road Less Traveled.
Road Less Traveled.
He said in his 60s. He said in his 40s, in your 40s, you think you can conquer the world. And he said by the time you got in his 60s, he became a lot more humbled, a lot more. It's important to have doubt, they're not sure. And he felt like, who am I to give advice to these people? He said, I've been doing it for 20, 25 years now. But who am I really to be giving advice to these other people? I mean, like he became more humbled by it. But like he wrote The Road Less Traveled. He wrote The People of the Lie, which I think we talked about before. So, okay, going back to this social media and information. So you're not worried at all. You don't give a shit. You're fine with it.
Yeah,
they can take all your information and it doesn't matter to you.
Say there's 30 of us swimming and a shark comes by. Just get one of us. And it's thousands upon thousands of people.
You're not worried that they're going to use that information against you one day? Let's just say, like, people could, like for instance, if you had some particular political views on something, or if you thought something, if you believed in, that something different outside the orthodoxy, and you wanted to, or you had some secrets or whatever that you particularly wanted to. And that maybe they could fire you over that, or if that gets out, or you don't mind.
When we started the podcast 15 minutes ago, I was not worried. But then when you said the thing about the therapy, like that worries. Not that I'm saying in therapy, like, oh, I've done things wrong, but just like to know that personal kind of stuff is out there.
Yeah, I mean, it should at least should be a choice, right? Shouldn't it be like a,
No, you're right. We should be compensated by that.
And if they're making all this money off it, that's why, like, I never join, like, people, you want to join LinkedIn? I always have the attitude, like, why am I going to make these assholes billionaires?
Right.
Why am I going to just join in? I'll join in and everybody join in, and they'll make all this money because we all joined in like fucking idiots. And, supposedly it could benefit us, but it's like there's these new dickheads that are contacting like celebrities going, hey, you can make money on this celeb chat or this bullshit. It's like, I don't want to, take money from these people. Yeah, you just say happy birthday to these morons and then like say, hey, I want to do that. And they said and then it's an app where those people are going to become billionaires and we get like $80. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not doing it.
I just heard of this. That app. I just heard of the app where it like lists celebrities and it's like different value based on who they are. And they'll, say happy birthday.
I heard about this app that this diaper company is developing.
What's that?
The app, it's like a chip that you can listen how ridiculous this is. It's a chip that you put in your baby's diaper.
Yeah.
And it will let you know when your baby peed or pooped on your app. And it's like, if you are on your phone and you're not checking on your baby,
then
that's a problem.
Yeah, that's their.
My kids were nice enough to make it smell like shit when they shit their pants.
That's the like the on Saturday Night Live. Not to be, I don't know why I'm talking about that so much today.
I love hearing about it.
No, but like that was the thing. The great comedy writer, the real genius of Saturday Night Live, Jim Downey, the head writer there, and he's just a brilliant guy. And he said like. For the commercials, which we used to do all the time there, he said, non-existent problem, ineffective solution. So basically, this isn't really a problem. This is not a way that would fix it. And then that would be the commercial for whatever that would be.
Well, this is ridiculous.
The chip
Can you
thing's
imagine,
crazy.
like getting, like they basically what the app does is like when your kid, needs a diaper change, sends you a message. So that means that you're going to be more interested in your phone, reading your messages rather than checking and picking on your baby's
That's
diaper.
the thing is just like, listen, there was this thing like on the news, this is the most horrible thing that even, I don't even want to discuss it now, but here I go. No, but like there's going to do these safety checks in cars so people don't leave their kids in cars so they don't like, the kids don't like, they forget about their kid and the kid dies in the car because it's so hot.
Just happened. Twin, little baby twins.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like when they say, well, maybe you should put a stuffed animal on your lap so that you know that the kids are in the... I said, what? I mean, who are these people? I mean, God knows there's like people are busy, they're working 3-4 jobs, but you got the kids in the car. That seems to be like pretty basic information. It's hot, there are kids in the car, I think that you can't leave that up to technology to answer that one.
Right, then what if you're depending on the technology and the technology fails? And like with that one, I wish I had more. I mean, it's a horrible story, but the guy thought he dropped his kids off at daycare and just forgot and went to work.
Oh. I don't know if that's possible. I'm going to think there's alcohol or some drugs involved. There's definitely some idiocy involved.
I don't know. The guy works, isn't he like a social worker or something?
I think so. And then now you're dealing with the death of your children, and then you're also maybe going to jail.
Deservedly.
And then it's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, at a certain point, you can't just like, there's a certain base level of stuff, no matter how shitty your life is and how shitty the situation is, you got to know that there's some kids in your car,
Yeah.
That just seems to be pretty fucking basic.
Yeah.
So going back to the new biggest business in the world, personal private information and purchases, and like, for instance, your web searches. Now, there's a company, every time you go on Google, it is being recorded forever. Every web search, and now you're looking concerned, Jamie. Every web search, like for instance, you were looking at lightning today. People struck by lightning.
People almost struck by lightning.
Almost struck by lightning.
You couldn't choose either. I always liked the people that made it out.
Okay, good. It did. That was pretty scary.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
The greatest ones were the guy that's like, I want to go have fun in the rain with my umbrella, and then like the tree just gets destroyed behind him. He come running
Holy
inside.
shit! Boy, that was like an explosion. The whole deck just burned and disappeared.
There's like an hour of good people almost getting hit by lightning videos.
Well, we saw a shitload of lightning. We were just back in Boston.
Yes.
And there was like we were just right, on the, and well, I'm going to say here, I'm doing the social media thing right here. We were in Marblehead. And
what exact dates and times?
And it was a Wednesday, and no, it was storming like a mother effer, and just that lightning was crazy, and that thunder, and there's the rain. It was like somebody holding a hose to the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that video. It's crazy.
But then I wanted to go outside and look at it like an idiot. And I did open up the door and go, let me think it down. Like a gigantic chunk of a tree came down.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really scary.
Yeah.
Once, remember that you and I were down here, and Rob was putting, I think, Miranda in bed.
Yes.
And the lightning, I heard that. It was like a boom.
And you said that the whole room
shook.
Yeah.
I thought it was an earthquake, but it was a thunder just right above the house.
Yeah. I remember we saw the light.
Yeah.
You remember? Like, it was...
Were we indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
I saw a lightning strike. I swear it was close to us. I thought it hit the house.
Didn't you and I go walk around the neighborhood?
Like idiots.
We could have been on that video.
I think you both did.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yes.
Okay, so going back to the web searches, I'm looking at you. Now, every one of the web searches you've ever looked at has become now part of your profile.
Okay.
Everything you've ever chosen, everything you've ever bought, everything you were curious about,
And everything you like also on social media.
Everything, every one of your choices, everything you've ever liked, everything you've ever put a thing by now has become part of your personal individual file. And there may be, probably not just 5,000. They said the minimum they had for all Americans, Cambridge Analytica, was 5,000 points of information, trying to generate what makes this person click onto something, what the person likes, what they respond to, negatively, positively, whatever, what makes them tick, whatever. The chances are they probably have some individuals like you, Jamie Lissow, maybe 20,000, 30,000. Who knows? I mean,
It's possible.
yeah.
I feel like in summary, my search history would just say, kind of depressed, spends a lot on workout shoes.
They keep on sending you
If they only had 5
workout.
So yours would,
Shoes.
Patricia, yours
Yes.
would be Mexican memes that are very
Yes.
funny.
Love is the Mexican memes.
Oh, yeah.
Did you want to say any of the Mexican memes that you looked at today?
What was the one with the older woman?
Yeah, why don't you explain that little one that you were laughing at so hard about?
Oh, yeah. It was this young woman in the picture with this grandmother.
Yeah.
It's like, and she's asking, like, Grandma, I know back in the day, you used to have, you and your generation used to have a lot of kids, so what
7,
was
8, 9.
yeah,
Like mine.
like what was that about? Lack. You think it was lack of information? You think it was, lack of, preservatives? And
No,
she
not
said-
preservative. Lack of
birth control.
birth control.
Lack of birth control. And then the grandmother looks at her and she said, "Oh no, I just really like dick."
That's good.
It's a solid meme.
And we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to tell you all the places that you can come see me, Rob Schneider, live. Saturday, August 31st, I'm going to be at the Rising Sun Casino in Indiana. That's the Rising Star Casino Resort. Rising Star Casino Resort in Indianapolis and Indiana. And then, of course, one of my favorite comedy clubs you'll ever... It's a very odd place for a comedy club, but it's actually really good. It's the Comedy Zone in Jacksonville, Florida. One of the best places, and we've been there.
We have.
Comedy Zone, Jacksonville, Florida. That's September 20th and the 21st. There'll be 4 shows. And then I'll be up at one of the favorite places in the world that I love, Seattle, Washington, at a tiny comedy club called Laughs Comedy Club. And that's just one night, Seattle, Washington, Thursday, September 26th. Laughs Comedy Club. And then the 27th of September, Friday, I'll be at Coquitlam, BC. That's the Molson Canadian Theatre, Hard Rock. Coquitlam, that's got to be British Columbia. And that's the Molson Canadian Theatre, Hard Rock. And I'll be there for one night. And then State Line the next week, State Line, Nevada. The Mount Blue Casino Resort Spa. That's October 4th. Only a couple more, guys. And then Rohnert Park, October 5th, Saturday at Sally Tomatoes. And then I'll be at the Blue Lake Casino October 6th. And then Caroline's for the week of October 11th through the 13th. And hopefully Jamie Lissow will be there. And we're going to be performing together, all of us, by the way. We're going to be at La Jolla at the Comedy Store for the 25th through the 27th of October. And then we're going to be performing together. And we had to, again, move this gig because of our TV show, Real Rob. It will be a Real Rob TV show with Patricia Maya, the great Jamie Lissow, and the Real Rob show at Cove Haven Resort. And that's Lakeville, Pennsylvania. And the Cove Haven Resort. That's going to be December 7th.
Oh, yeah.
Three of us will be there. So that'll be fun.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. What are some other memes that you like?
There's this one that I liked. It was funny, but this is not a meme. But this is.
I like the one jumping
joke.
back and forth in the cars. It's
Oh,
a guy.
yeah,
It's like one of those, those whatever stupidest movies, or the those car movies where like it's like you have to jump from this car to the truck and the truck to the car. It's always like,
Right.
we got to get out of this car. It's going really fast and jump. It's like, to me that's like the dumbest thing ever. But people respond really, really well to that apparently, as certain people of a certain age. And so there was one guy jumping from the car to the truck, and the meme was.
It was like, I'm single, and then he would jump to the truck, and then it's like, but I have 2 kids, and then he would
Jump
back.
back to the car.
And then it's like, but my mom watches them, so he jumps back to
and
the
he
truck.
said, but my ex-husband doesn't give any money. He jumps back. My ex-husband's a deadbeat. He jumped back into the car. I thought that was hilarious.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of.
What was the other one you said you liked?
Um,
I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, no, there are a bunch. It's just like I have this friend, Karen. She's really funny.
Is it Karen Schneiderman?
Yes, and God, she's
Not a Mexican name, by the way. Schneiderman.
I know, but she's really funny, and she always sends me this funny memes. Let me show you one that we saw yesterday, and Rob was laughing hard at it. But anyways, going back to social media, I think.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's crazy. I mean, it's fun.
I think,
I
yeah.
enjoy it because I use Instagram a lot.
No,
and
I mean
really
it's a tool.
like-
It's a tool, but it's
Yeah.
it's a potentially dangerous tool, and I think you
but-
have to be aware of like what impact you want it to have in your life.
It's up to us, and also like up to us how much information we're putting out there.
But we're also like mature adults. Well, for the most part.
That's what we think.
Yeah, but I think for kids who are still developing, the potential to ruin their lives is
Well, I think
frightening.
one of the most like dangerous things right now for young people is, especially I would say for young women,
yes.
is looking at all these beautiful women on Instagram and not
Oh, yeah.
realizing that everything is being photoshopped, that there are like tons of filters out there. Like they
So you're talking about their own self-image.
yes, because I think there is a lot of I would say like unachievable types of bodies right now that is not possible.
Yeah, like Kim Kardashian when she was doing some, I forget thing came a couple of years ago or last year, where she was showing her ass, and it just wasn't technically possible to have an ass like that with a waist like that, and it turned out it was photoshopped.
Oh.
And somebody leaked the Photoshop,
Yeah.
the pre-Photoshop.
Yeah, but even like that, but that's the problem. See, like these young women are looking at these pictures and they're thinking all the time, I'm not pretty enough, my body is not good enough, and then they go and try to get these procedures like getting their butts
But isn't
injected
that a
or
cultural thing, or shouldn't they be isn't there some education about that, or their parents saying, hey, you're beautiful, you're fine enough?
No,
It's
but
just,
I think it's
just a
still-
natural thing to compare
it's a
yourself.
natural thing that we all
Yeah.
have. So if you go on Instagram for
Yes.
hours, I assure you're gonna end up depressed because everyone on Instagram looks happy,
Yes.
looks wealthy, and they have amazing bodies and faces. So
First of all, I don't think I've ever gone on Instagram for hours. I think if you put all the times I've been on Instagram, I'd say it was a couple of hours.
that's good.
That is good.
But like,
Twitter?
like
But
how
you
many?
spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Yeah, because it's very political, Twitter, and it's like you really do. You kind of get your news, what's happening on Twitter, But I don't think it's no longer an entertainment platform. I think as far as entertainment and stuff it doesn't exist on Twitter anymore. I think entertainment and like is all Instagram.
I have a question for you guys.
Let me
So,
show you this
what's
real
this?
quick. This one says, this guy can really blow.
Oh, that's really funny.
What is it?
It's
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. It's a picture of a woman with a guy kissing her, and they're both in really good shape. And the next thing, it's the same position. She's really pregnant, and he's kissing her, and she's saying, "This guy can really blow."
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So my question for you guys is, you guys know don't want to get into it, but I'm a single guy. I've been single for about a year.
Has it
And-
been a year now?
Yeah, it's been about I guess it's been less than a year. No, we're right around separated about 11 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 months.
How long were you together?
16 years.
Okay, so here's my theory about that. Is that it's going to take about half the time that you were in the relationship to completely get over it. So if it's going to take,
What if I
it's
no
gonna take
longer-
years?
Look like a person that could date by the end of these 8 years. Because I was going to
didn't
say,
say that.
okay.
But
'Cause
what were you going to say?
I was going to ask. So this is this thing that I kind of do. Like if I meet a girl and say we're messaging on Instagram and we're going to meet, I'm immediately worried that like this will be the first time she sees me without a filter. Because like you're throwing like a Nashville filter, or you do. So I do a thing where whenever a girl,
that's nothing. That believe me, the concern should be on the other side, because you're throwing in a filter for the color of the picture.
yeah,
But are you doing the thing where this is like how old I am. You're talking like a Tinder thing where you're flipping to the left?
oh no, I'm not on any dating apps. This would just be like if I meet a friend through a friend, you look at their Instagram, see what they look like.
Now, does that thing by the way, the Tinder thing, is it just like a faster hookup thing, or is it a potential hookup thing, right?
It's a hookup thing.
But it's a potential hookup. But let's just meet and see what happens, and maybe we'll
that's
hook
what
up.
it is.
Yeah, but the thing that happens is usually the same thing every time.
What's that?
What's
Just
that?
banging people.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do that. But I started sending, like, if a girl goes, "Oh, send me a picture," I send her a shitty picture. So that when she meets me, she's like, "Oh, this guy's not that fucking bad." Because if you go like filtered photos, they see them, they're like, "Ah."
I have our friend Ido Mosseri. He's from Israel, which makes him Israeli, and he's a little guy. He's really funny. From and he, from the movie the Zohan,
yeah.
and he was the funniest thing in the whole movie. He's the little guy going, "Listen, Zohan, we go out for the disco," and he was just really funny in that. Working at the going out of business store, that was just the place going out of business.
That was just the name of it.
The name of the store, going out of
Hilarious.
business. And like, because which is based on a sketch from,
incredible.
I think the whole movie is based on a sketch from Rob Smigel and Adam Sandler, which was like these, these guys who these Israelis who had these sabras, who had these stores, these electronic stores in the early 90s in New York City, in Times Square, like these shitty little places. And they would have like the worst electronics. It's like, what is this one? It is called Paradigm. What? I never heard of that. Yes, it's a Paradigm. I've never heard of that. It's a video recorder? Yes, Paradigm. Yes, very good. So, but what about, do you have Sony? No, it has Sony guts. The inside of the Sony guts, but it's cheaper. It's Paradigm. It's very good. It's very good. You enjoy it very much. Very much. It's good for you. And I remember walking in one of those stores, and the guy said, "You want to buy? What are you looking for? You want to buy?" And I said, "I'm just checking. I'm just looking, maybe getting like, this is like how old I am. It's like a Walkman. I think about this is the Walkman. It is Dislesk." And I said, "Well, I guess it's not even. It is Russian, but inside it's Sony guts. It has a Sony. It's the same. It is Dislex. It's a good, And I went like, "Oh, thank you." And I remember like, oh, and so. And then Rob Smigel did it. And Tom Hanks was in the sketch, and it was Adam Sandler and me and some other people. And then like Chris Rock came in and like, "Watch him," So, just and it was like something you could do back in the 90s. People could just laugh at any racist jokes, And it was just so anyway. He's a great guy and it was really funny. But he was first time I'd ever saw Tinder. Was like he was on it here when he was staying at the house in his underwear, by the way, which is freaking out Patricia.
He had this. No, I don't think it was his underwear, but I think it was these very short shorts.
Okay.
Well, that's underwear.
Kind of like cheeky, style or whatever you call it. Like cheeky, like shows your cheeks.
Oh,
what is that like?
like running shorts?
Yes, something like that. But he was. Yeah,
it's very hot in the Middle East.
It was too easy to
revealing.
To reveal.
And he didn't. I think he was wearing like he didn't have a shirt or a tank top or something. He's just on all the hair coming out, and he's on Tinder.
Is it your house? He's just visiting?
Staying at the house, yeah. And then like Patricia's mad at me because I invited him to come over, then I had to leave.
He left. He left.
That's such a Rob Schneider thing to do. That's amazing.
Spend one day with him. I did. I spent the whole weekend with him, which he's a very nice
he's
guy.
Lovely.
Rob saw those shorts and booked a
But
gig.
I saw him. But I saw pretty much every part of him.
And he's lovely. He's the best.
So that's crazy.
So he's on Tinder.
And just in front of you? He's on Twitter?
He's on Tinder? Yeah, he doesn't care. He has no filter. Talk about filter. He has no filter in his life. So he's like, and they look at this and then this one is I like. And they feel, so I go to the left. Is it the left the good? Is the what?
I think right is yes, left
right,
is no
to go to
thanks.
right. But these girls, they don't go to the right with me. I don't understand that. Beseder, amor. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Robbie?
So he's getting no matches.
He was getting that, not the. I don't know. They look at me. I don't know what they think. I don't know. Too much hair, not enough hair, too much. I don't know. Too short, too tall, too tight. The shorts.
Yeah, Tinder.
Have you ever been on Tinder?
I went on like right when I got divorced. I like looked at it and immediately figured. Remember you and I talked about, like I was talking to you about maybe getting on a dating app.
Yeah,
it's not. I would not do what I think there are guys that are great at it, like good at being on a dating app because it's all about like your messaging and I just
is there a TV show about like Tinder and those things following those people around?
No, that's a good idea.
I don't think so.
Wouldn't there be like people who volunteer? Because people
that's a great idea. We could call it whores.
But you know what though? Because I mean, I really do think like that's a very American particular thing. I was talking to somebody about that. I was talking to this actor from Scotland. I was just last weekend, and I was saying he was in those Peter Jackson movies, The Hobbit, and Graham. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his last name now. But I was going to say that's a very American thing where like they will tell you your whole life. Americans will tell you the whole life story in like the first 3 minutes that you know them. That's a very particular thing. You know, it's like there's not a lot of secrets that they keep. So in a particular thing, like I just think people would throw themselves and just admit to it. It's a very exhibitionist culture. It's like David Spade is just completely obsessed with this Bachelor show, which I guess other people are too, because the Bachelorette or the Bachelor, there's like it's been going on for like 13 years now. These people just expose themselves and put themselves in a house with these other...
And then marry someone, right? Don't they get married again?
I guess temporarily or whatever.
But I don't think... I don't follow the show, but I think every time I see the magazines, you know, when I go to Target.
Yeah.
And it's always like, oh, you know, like they broke up.
Right.
And like wedding is not happening or stuff like that.
Or like, you know, I don't know, because the only reason I even know about it is because I was with David Spade the other day and he's like, hey, buddy. What's his face on Bachelor? He, you know, on the Bachelorette, he had a girlfriend, didn't even tell her. And I went like, dude, that is so outside my life. I don't know. I got 2 kids, and like, I know you. I'm happy for your new TV show, David. But like, David's got a new TV show.
I know.
He's great.
He's great. I saw the episode. I saw had the guy from The Bachelor on it. He must be a huge fan.
Well,
no, that's his show.
We all have our little, you know, shows that we like.
That's true.
Like we are obsessed.
Yes.
With this show, Botched. We like that.
That's true. That's a sick thing. That's true. I would make fun of that if I saw somebody else obsessed with that show and they didn't know what the show was. Botched is the medical show with these 2 doctors. What are their names again?
Dr. Dubrow.
Dr. Dubrow.
And
He's the boob guy.
And Nassif, right?
Nassif is the nose guy.
Yeah.
And basically that's got to be 98% of the, or maybe it used to be 98% of the plastic surgery. It's boob and nose. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, for a lot of girls from, you know, Jewish girls, it's like, you know, 16, you want a new car, you want a new nose. What do you feel like, you know? And so I know. So, and maybe now new boobs. What do you feel like? I don't know. It depends on.
You get the boobs, maybe they don't even look at the nose.
So,
so Botched is
a show. Where
they're coming to get fixed to these guys.
Basically, they got screwed up by some plastic surgeon. You know, it's like the joke that I think you fixed for me. We're talking about that show about like, you know, I wanted to get boobs, but then I wanted to get, I don't go too big, but I was like, you know, if you're going to get them, let's fucking get them. And it was pretty big, but then I lost 45 pounds, and one nipple's going this way, and the other nipple's going the other way, which I really enjoyed the free Sirius XM radio, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to fix this shit. So I want to save a little bit of money this time, so this time I went to a guy, and it seemed like he had top of the line, really good equipment, you know, and he was in a van, which I thought was kind of weird, but the next thing you know, and that's how they end up on a show Botched, where they're fucked up. It had been too many surgeries or something, or like this one girl who broke her nose like 5 times. Like she just had like the worst nose, you know.
Nose luck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had no nose luck.
She had the worst luck and the worst nose.
And and like even her own kids were going like witchy poo, you know.
Oh God!
Yeah.
And she just literally like every morning she looks in the mirror and weeps, you know, like oh God, another day.
Oh man!
And so then they would try to fix it, and a lot of times it's not fixable.
Yeah.
You know, it's better, but like you still at the end of the show you expect to go oh, and you go
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you if it's always like an amazing.
Has there been one story on there? I mean, I love those guys. I've actually met them.
Yeah.
but they. I can't say there's ever. There's been a few that have been like, whoa, that's way better.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely been like a bear attack.
Well,
that got
but
better.
also, no, but also, there are a lot of people that they're way too fucked up. Like way too. Like for instance, especially the ones that are obsessed. Like
that was the original name for the show. Way too fucked up.
Yeah,
they get. It's just like they get every types of like people, but there are certain
there's
people
certain people that are
like,
addicted to it.
Yeah, and like it's like I am a human Ken or like a Barbie doll, human Barbie doll, and then they got too much job done, and they even advise you.
And
they
would say like, hey, at a certain point, you got to stop doing this, or you're gonna die.
Yes.
Right.
At a certain point, your nose is gonna fall off. That's my favorite. Is that I don't know. I shouldn't say that's my favorite, but like hey, dude, your face is gonna collapse in on itself. You got to stop doing this shit.
Yeah.
And
or with the boobs, because this woman wanted to get this gigantic. She already had gigantic boobs, and she wanted to have them even bigger. And they told her like, "Hey, no, you get this bigger, and then that's it." Like
you're gonna break through the skin.
Yeah.
And you're
and it's gonna die. Your skin is gonna die.
Skin's gonna die, and then that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
And she said, and then someone was like, "Hey, dude, you could die from this."
Wow.
And some of the people they kind of listen, and they say, we can't help you. We hope you listen to us, and then some they don't.
Isn't it crazy that especially with face stuff, it makes me so sad when someone that's very beautiful goes for like the face stuff, the lips, and then it just goes past the point where you can't come back anymore. And you've spent all this money to look better, and sometimes you look and you go, man, they looked cute before.
I know.
And just went.
And they took it too far. Yeah.
But you know what? On the other side, there are certain surgeries.
Let me just jump in because Patricia's always going to say because I said it always looks shitty. You can always tell, and Patricia says because the good ones you never can tell.
Yeah,
because there are good ones. The good ones you never notice because they're the good ones.
Interesting.
And I just
thank you for my accent.
You're right though. Like good toupee, we don't even know it's a toupee. But like a bad toupee.
Yeah. No, and there are surgeries that literally like change people's lives. So I'm not against them. I'm just saying that sometimes if you're gonna do something, you're gonna go with the best at it. So it's like seriously, you cannot save money on that.
Yes, do not use a Groupon for your breasts.
Yeah, just spend enough time saving for the right person. You want to go to someone that does that every day, 10 times a day.
Yeah, you don't want a pilot that's like, you know what? I'd like to give this a shot. I drive a car most of the time. I drive an Uber, but you know what? I think I want to.
Let me finish this up so I can go back to my regular job. Oh shit.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, but some of the stories, like you're right. Some of the stories are exactly right. Like this, it was their dentist said, "Oh, let me try to fix your nose."
What?
And the woman's like, "Yeah, okay." And then he just completely screwed it up, and then the nose died, and then they got to go in and fix it, and they have to put a piece of bone from their rib.
Oh God!
And then rip off a piece of your ear and put it on there, and you try to hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's true. That's like a real thing on that show. It's amazing, that show.
Imagine the confidence that dentist has to be like, I'll take a shot at this.
Yeah.
What a nut!
I know.
Yeah. What a loon.
Yeah.
In the state of California, you can only sue up to it's got for California, which has 40 million people in it. You can only sue for a medical problem, but if they screw it up, if they leave a sponge inside you, the most you can get is $250,000. It's been that way. It's been that way since 1975.
Wow.
Yeah.
It should go up.
It should go up. Yeah. There might be a ballot initiative coming up, so maybe we'll see what happens.
That'll be great.
See what happens. See what happens.
I mean, there are so many doctors here, and especially plastic surgeons.
Oh, yeah.
And it happens that they leave
California,
a little something in there.
$250 is the most you can get. They cap you out. So, unless the Californians decide to vote on that, maybe they will.
One of my cousins, she was having some health issues.
Yeah.
And they thought it was she had a certain percentage of cancer, 3% of cancer or something like that. And then they found out that because she had one of her, she had a cyst removed on her ovaries. Yeah. They left a fucking sponge in there.
You'd be surprised that's not that's not uncommon.
And that's why she was getting so sick.
Whoa.
How about the conversations and jokes and stuff like that, or taking pictures of the people. I mean, once in a while that gets out. How many more times does it happen while you're in there and they're taking pictures or whatever? I mean, you're really putting some trust in your hands of these people, you know?
Yeah.
And they're sick people, whatever, because it does exist.
I don't know anything about plastic surgery, but if I was a plastic surgeon, right at the end of the thing, I'd go, "Hey, let's count the sponges."
Yeah,
Count
why
it.
not?
Hey, we get the same number.
No, but they've left scissors in there.
Holy
But
shit!
how's that even possible?
No,
There's so
'cause-
many people working at that thing. It's
Right.
like, what
Where
are
the
they doing?
Shit, where are my keys?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right.
That's
Scissors.
crazy. Well, but you know what? Now doctors,
Yes.
especially like plastic surgeons,
they do count it
now.
now.
They're using also social media, so they're doing
Yes.
these live operations.
What?
Yes, like on Instagram Live, and so, or they post like certain stuff. I mean, that's good. I think
I would
because-
not be interested in. Can you watch those medical
Dude,
shows where they?
I gotta tell you something. When I was a kid, my mom loved those shows, like watching plastic
Mm-hmm.
surgery, not plastic surgeries, but any type of surgeries. And we had a television in the kitchen, and we would eat, like right in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
on the table. She would be watching like an open heart surgery
Oh,
while
God.
we were eating, and I was like, "Can we turn that off for a second?" I mean, it's just like she
Wow.
has no problem.
Do they
watching
still
that.
have those shows? I remember those shows being on. I remember.
Yeah,
used to be the-
my mom was fascinated by all that
Well,
stuff.
that's kind of what botched is.
yeah, true.
It's a little bit more fun because there's just like, people who've done this to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, it's what happened. I don't know what happenend in our culture where we
There's
decided.
a happy ending
you can't,
most
yeah,
of the time.
You can't make fun. Yeah, most of the time. Because you always see them kind of walking in after the surgery, but they don't show the face yet, They just show the legs and walking, and then you see the people's reaction, and
Yeah.
and you see sometimes the people go, "Hey," and sometimes they go, "Eh," and then you see the person, and they do look better. They also have makeup on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened in our culture where we couldn't you had to have happy endings to everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just remember we talked about this, I think, where you have like, why, can't you have people making fun of other people? Like, that was the first 10 seasons of American Idol was like just everybody laughing at people who think they could sing really good, but they can't sing really good.
It was the reason to watch.
Yeah.
Was the people that thought they could sing.
I had the time of my life. Have you ever done this before? That was amazing, but not for the right reasons, So I don't know what happened. What do you think? It's because people became too
sensitive.
Too sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that I have no. I don't feel bad at all about watching someone that thinks they are an amazing singer get made
Yeah.
fun of. That doesn't bother me at all. I would feel more like if it was someone that was like, like pretty good but couldn't cut it. That would make me feel worse.
I think like Rosie O'Donnell's the one who killed the fun of that show. I think she came out and said, "Hey, you're making fun of mentally handicapped people," and maybe we were.
Oh.
Maybe some of those people did have like
that had not occurred to me.
Yeah, and then maybe so. I mean, so maybe there is a gut check there. Maybe she's right. Maybe we shouldn't. But I think there were some people who just really couldn't sing and thought they could sing.
Yeah.
My favorite though was like some of these ones because it's all over the world. American Idol. Some people who don't know the lyrics,
Like yourself.
like me,
Most of the time.
and then and so they were singing and songs that they didn't know like what the lyrics are. Like in Bulgaria, I think there was a pretty good one where this girl, I forget the name, what the hell that song was, but like, it was, and she was just filling in the words with this gibberish,
It's amazing.
and it's just
That I'd like to see. So that sounds fun.
that sounds fun.
There's
I
no
think-
victim.
Yeah, I think you can make fun of people. I think you should be allowed to. So, Jamie, what else, young man? You moving forward? When are you coming back to work with us?
Well, you're leaving for a little bit, right?
Yes.
You're gonna do your Instagram, putting information out there.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Do
I
my
shouldn't.
Instagram.
I won't say the exact dates, but I'll
No,
be
but
around.
we're gonna be working,
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Jamie and I.
I think writing a movie
Yes.
next up.
Yes.
So-
Yes.
So that'll be coming up. Good.
So okay, so what is the wrap for this social media thing? What do you recommend, my darling, love of my life, light of my world?
Well, thank you. I would recommend that I think there needs to be governmental oversight I think you have to have, like, not that the government always going to have the information, but I think if you have these companies that are making all this money off private information, that needs to be somehow taxed and given back. I think that people need to be compensated if they're selling your personal information. I think there should be a form of allocating that, figuring out how much that money is worth, and that you should share in that if they're selling your private information. That's the thing why I'll never join LinkedIn and that kind of stuff, because they're going to sell the group of all this information and raise billions of dollars and then not pay the individuals. I remember it's just like when the talent agencies I fought against that in Hollywood here, when they were selling the talent agencies to 49% of their company to Coca-Cola, whatever. And I would tell them at the time, it's like, hey, you're not selling your agents. Who gives a shit about,
right.
Sid Steinberg, talent agent, right? No, they're selling your talent list for access to your actors, writers, and directors. That's what they're buying. How are the actors, writers, and directors being compensated by that? What are they getting? And nothing. So I feel that same way. So I think there has to be some. I think what has happened with YouTube is, rightfully or not, there is up until when they started censoring videos now for whatever, and then burying it, but based on some truth vault, which is, again, another form of censorship. At least there was a trying a splitting of revenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I do think that, but again, going back to, social media has taken over the world in the last 10 years, especially. And I do think that, it's still relatively new. I think it's still relatively, it's like when mass media kind of came in. Mass media was this very destructive tool that, just like as Noam Chomsky talked about, it goes along like a big wrecking ball, just crushing things, and constantly moving and never going back to see the destruction in its wake. Mm-hmm. So in the same way, social media is that. I do think that, if your media if your personal private information is coming out, I think you should have a choice. You should be able to turn it all off, or if you're going to keep it, then they need to be some sort of compensation for that. I do think, and I think that what they need to do, if they're going to censor us like they're doing now, censor information for whatever information, whether it's medical freedom information like they're doing now, whether it's they're going to suppress people who don't believe the same political views as the people at the board on Google, which has been proved by Project Veritas that they are doing that, then I think that they should lose their protections. Their protections being that they have liability protections by Congress. I know people say, no, it's a private company. Then take off the app if you don't like it. Well, the fact of the matter is they are not just a private company. This is the main search engine for the world is Google. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to choose to, then they need to have all their, whatever protections Congress has taken away, given them, which is a liability thing, which in other words, they cannot be sued for something that's fake or whatever. That you can't go after Google. You can't go after them. So these main search engines, and so I think those protections need to be taken away. Twitter, Instagram, except
read your terms and conditions.
Except where our podcast goes.
Oh, I was listening to, this is a tiny aside, but not really. I was listening to a podcast that I love called "To Live and Die in L.A." And it's basically like a murder happens and it's real, and they try to find the person. And they use pings, cell tower pings, to locate where the guy was at certain times. They end up proving that cell tower pings are hugely inaccurate. Like the journalist goes out and they ping his phone and they're 30 miles off, so totally inaccurate. And he had a Google account, and he was, as long as you have the person's password, they were able to generate a second by second map of where he went. Like he drove to the gas station, he was there for 7 minutes. This is the name of the gas station. He texted this person. He drove over here, and if
you said it wasn't accurate,
so the pings, old school location is to use cell phone pings.
Yeah.
But if you have Google and a Google login, it's a totally different thing that they're keeping track of.
Google is totally watching everywhere you go,
and they could set his every movement. They were able to map out.
Wow. So, but that kind of stuff, though, that Google stuff, that's another part of their tracking information is another thing that they sell. It's another tool that they sell to advertisers or they sell to people for whatever, including without exception, the government. So your government is one of the big purchasers of information from social media. So I just think that is not potentially dangerous. That is dangerous.
Well, I think there's a good side and a bad side on that too, because I would say the good side is that, if someone is doing something bad or
Catch a murderer. If you catch a murderer, that's cool.
And find your kids. And if somebody's taking kids, then yeah, absolutely. So I think there's a good side
There's a
to
good
it.
side,
But I do
too.
think that the people need to be aware of the potentials of that their information is being sold, and they should be allowed to opt out of all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, and there's our kid yelling at us right there. Hi, sweetheart. I'm coming. Okay, we'll be right out. Okay, well, thanks. That was a pretty good one.
Yes, just be aware. I would say, people, please be aware of what you're sharing, because it's not necessary.
At least be conscious of it, and then if you're okay with it, then like Jamie is, he doesn't seem to give a shit about anything he puts out there.
I still don't. Even after all that, I think I'll probably get rid of my online therapist.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you, Jamie Lisso. Where
Thanks,
can people
man.
find you?
Great to see you. I'm on the Instagram at I am Jamie Lisso. That's where I
Okay.
spend most of my time.
And that's a screaming child back there. It's okay. It's okay. We'll come right out, honey. And Patricia, where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram as I am Patricia Maya, and I'm gonna leave right now because our kid is screaming.
And I'm Rob Schneider, and this is See What Happens? The kids need attention. Thanks for listening.